hello everybody, and we got an update here, but we're going to do something a little different this time. You know, as the bench work was going, we were flying and getting everything done, and if you look around, you can see that it's getting a little wetter and colder because that's Seattle. But in any case, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a little thought of what we've been doing and what we've been thinking about and the process we went through. So come on in and we'll show you what we've done. Okay, here we are, and we're starting at a different position. We're back here in Denver, and I want to just kind of take you through the process that we went through as we begin to lay the layout out. Now, as you can see, we're here at Denver Union Station, and so one of the reasons why we use the templates is because we can lay them out and then set the buildings and see how they fit together, and then we kind of almost as a group, either Sean and me or John and me or all three of us, or if Nate's here, then Nate would be included in this, and we just kind of discuss the pros and cons of what we're doing to see if it's going to work as the vision that I drew out when I did this. And an important part of that is really having those drawings always available. Now, we have the advantage of getting access to a plotter that allows us to plot them, but we still have the regular drawings from the CAD program that allows us to look at it and discuss the whole process. So here we are at Denver Union, and we've got the plots all sitting out. Denver Union Station is right there in front of us, and we begin to work with this. And one of the products that I use, I don't use Homosode. I use a product that you can get from Home Depot called Soundboard. Now, I think you can get Soundboard for just about any lumberyard. And Soundboard comes in a 1/2 inch thick 4x8 sheet. And that's designed to be an insulator, a sound barrier between rooms. And what I do with that is I take and I rip it down into 3.5 inch sections on my table saw. And then I take and rip it down so that I create, let me grab one of these here, a couple different sizes. So this is about 3/8 inch thick, and this is an 1/8 inch thick, and then the last eighth basically gets eaten up in the illustrious table saw and turns into dust. But in any case, this is what we use. Now, this is what we would use as our sub road bed. So we have the plywood down, and then we put the sub road bed, and this is designed to work for a double lane, and then we put our cork on top of that. And what that does is it creates what you see in real life. In other words, there's a sub road bed that's on the grade, and then there's the actual road bed that it's on. And that's what we're doing with that. And we're just duplicating what the real railroad does, just with a little different twist on it. So you can see right here, we've got the yard all set up, and as you can see just in the back, and I'll take the camera there in a minute, I'll show you where we lay out the sub-road bed, and then we put the road bed on top of it, and then we lay the track. So let's take a look at that as we go around the corner here. Okay, as you can see, we're here on the other side of Denver Union Station. You can see the plots as we lay them out here. And as we get into this towards the end of the plots, you can see here's the sub bed going right into the plots as we begin to work these. Now, these allow us to basically sand and smooth them all out until you get here to the cork road bed. So there's the single line coming in. So what that allows us to do is we can take and sand all of this down nice and smooth, and then we lay the cork on top of that, and we will work with that a little bit as we go through there. So as you can see, we come right around to this area here. We've been laying this all in here, and that's all from John's project. We'll talk about that in a minute here. And as you come in, there it is. There's our number 12 at the passing down here, and there's the track work right down, and we're going to just pop over there in just a second. So hang on. Okay, here we are at the track, and I tried to film this a few times, and standing behind the camera I couldn't keep it focused, so I figured I'd do it this way, it'd be a little easier. So anyway, here we are, and this is where the track is at all through here, so I'm going to just kind of go through here. So this is the main line in which we used our sub-row bed and HO scale cork, and then on our passing track we are using N scale cork. That's why you got the gap in here, and that's to kind of allow that distance so that we can put the HO scale in there. So what that does is it makes that passing track sit a little lower, just like you see in real life. So kind of set up with that. In here I have a lot of the tools that I use. So let's just kind of go through some of them. I have, you know, wire strippers for where I solder the joints or the downs going down into the bus line. And so those get soldered underneath the rails. And we take and drill the holes going straight through so that they're invisible, and I'll take a close shot of what that looks in that area there. And I've got my simple needle nose pliers, my wire cutters, my rail nippers, and again, I am just a huge fan of Fast Tracks. Now, I take these tools and I use these for more than just what they do. These are points and frog formers. But one of the things I find is I can take and stick the rail in here. This is code 83, and I'm using that to stretch out my N scale rail joiner so I can fit them onto my HO scale track. And then I use them as heat sinks for when I'm soldering the rails to protect the plastic ties in there. I have a simple set of trucks to just kind of listen and see how the joints sound, make sure they're nice and clean. Some of the other things here, I have some sub-road bed that I use, and that's just basically as I'm working through here, if I see a place where we need to extend that sub-road bed out or something like that, or I'm not happy with the way it works, Sean and me laid this out here, and as we begin to work, we liked what we saw, a nice smooth curve going through here, and so we ended up bringing the cork out a little farther, so all I'm doing is just slicing some road bed up and filling it in so it makes a nice complete fill there. Other things that are here is John here has decided that the purple and white wire is the main bus line running through this area here, so that's what's going here. These are to color code the downs right here, and then we're using orange to mark the frogs so that those go right to the hex juicers, and so that just kind of helps us out with that. I use two color markers. I use red to mark my solder joints and where I need to drill my holes so I get them down to the downs. And then I use black when I'm marking off where I want the cork to go or where I want my caulk to go to, so I know what that's for. And again, I have here nothing more than the CAD program drawing of the layout and what's planned. And that really helps me when I'm looking at this going, okay, where's this track going and what do we need to do next? When we're discussing some of these areas, some of the things we run into is somebody sent me this old map. I normally have USGA maps, which are the Geological Survey maps, and they help me take a look at it. But this is an old map of Longmount down here, and I can actually look at it and show everyone what we're doing and what we changed when we laid the layout out so that it would make sense to them. So that's kind of what we've got going through here. And so that's what we got here. And I'll take you down farther to where we'll give a walk along the track, and then I'll show you what John's been doing, and maybe some of you can help us with that. So just a second here, we'll make another move here. Okay, so here we are now behind the camera, and you can see there's the template of Longmount and the, see if I can focus on that. There's the Great Western transfer for the sugar beets that will be coming in here. And this is the actual templates as we've laid all the track out going through here, and then we cut out what we don't need and leave the rest so we can work from there. Just some tools and all, and the maps and all that. So as we go down here, oh, I wanted to show you the solder joints. So let's see here. Okay, I'm going to get you. Right here is the solder joints, and you might be able to see the red marks there. That marks them, and then the wires are drilled inside in between these two rails, and we pull them down below, and then they come down, and I'll see if we can get you a view down here. Yeah, it might be a little dark, but anyway, you get the idea there. They come down into there. Okay, here we are down at the other end of this siding, which is a little over 14 feet long. The Colorado Southern ran through this area here, typically 25 car train, so at 14 feet we can pretty much almost match that straight up there. But here's the number 12 that we put in, and it's all soldered in, all the points are all ready, the frog is all hot and ready to go. And this little deal right here, I want to show this. This is just great. These are the servos that we're using. These are simple regular servos. This is a bracket that Sean built for us, and these are fantastic. They actually fit right up tight to the servos, and we just set them in there. We drill our holes, and then we can just literally attach them in, and they're just seconds. We have them installed and ready to go. They're really solid, and they work fantastic. And so here's the passing siding going down into there, as you can see. The transfer here, and I'm going to take the camera and try and shoot a low angle shot. Sean and me really worked hard at this, and I am really impressed by it. And then going back this way here is our 30-inch radius turn on the end of the peninsula, so that will say, and it's a 30-inch, but it's got an easement going into it here, so it's a little wider. These peninsula ends are a little wider than 5 feet across, and so they work really well. So anyway, I'm going to pick up from here and get behind the camera again and show you what we've been doing on the spline and all of that, and then go to John's project he's been working on. Anyway, thanks. We'll be back in just a second. Okay, here we are back behind here. And you can see the 30-inch curve as they're coming around here. And this comes down into the spline down here. Now, some of you may have saw the maiden voyage of the first trains running, and we did it on the spline here. And this is nothing more than hardboard. This is nothing more than hardboard here that is the exact same width as the rails. We basically took 7 strips to make this, and that goes all the way down here. And this is 3/16 inch wide. And you can see the bus lines that John's got put in here. In this particular case here, you can see that the bus lines are yellow and white. And then this is the local net wire that John put together. He pulled 400 feet of this all together as one wire throughout the entire layout. So he literally started down here at the command station and then finished right back down here at the command station. So that put all this all tied in back to here, and that's the 400 feet that he's got in here. And then John's little project he's been working on. This is our dispatcher's desk. You can see John's been working with the DCC down here, and he's been basically working on the JMRI and all that. And one of the projects we've been working on is working with watchmen from RR circuits, and I'm going to pause for a second and take you over to that, and we'll show you what he's been working on there. Okay, here's the RR circuit, and this is sitting on the down by the third power district here, and this is the RR circuit's watchman. And you can see John's been we've been running trains trying to get a signal to appear on JMRI. Now we know how to program a signal and put in the states and all that, but for some reason we're not getting a signal. We're not sure if it's just because we're not programming these correct, or we're just not doing something correct in the actual defining the different the JMR light. But all we're trying to do is just get a white light to light up that says that the block is occupied. And that's what we're trying to do. So if somebody can help us out, we'd greatly appreciate it. If someone's familiar with this or can give us 2 cents of information on here, we greatly appreciate it. Anyway, that's what we've got done for this week. And sorry about the delay on getting this video out. But, you know, it got the end of Monday and it was just no time to film it. So here we are on Tuesday getting this out. And next week is an off week for everyone. So our hope is that we'll be all set to go in the next 2 weeks, and we'll have this siding all done and everything else, and we'll be able to show you a full train running through at least one peninsula. Anyway, you guys take care. Happy modeling, and if someone can help us out or give us a heads up on those RR circuits, we'd really greatly appreciate it. We might even give Dick a call, see if he can help us out. Anyway, happy modeling.